Oh, yeah! Welcome back, everybody, to the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. I am your host, Crypto Bro, and we are back at it again with another edition of the daily live stream. And let me tell you guys something. We have plenty of disgusting price action confirming some critical changes of behavior today in the general market and cryptocurrency markets here. Things looking a little bit more, what's the word that I'm looking for? I don't know. A little, for those of you that are investors, holding 401ks, holding IRAs, long-term investments, today could be very, 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 very scary for you. But if you're a trader like me, we could be looking at some very juicy opportunities in the market. So, couple of announcements. We did get a request for an instructional video. I will be working on that next week. Something about, learning about the difference between, a macro trend, a micro trend, a medium-term time frame trend. We definitely have plenty. Ooh, I already got a comment. Hey, my cousin's in the house. What's going on, Mike? My cousin dropping through, checking out the YouTube channel for the first time. Thank you, brother. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell, and prepare for your mind to be blown. But yeah, I'm going to read the post here. I think I have an idea for a new instructional video, simply explaining the difference between a bounce or a short-term bullish scenario versus a macro bullish scenario. He says, I know in your mind that's easy, but I think a lot of new traders can't see where one starts and where one ends, and they don't know how to follow TA. Example, last night, TA on AMC, its current price was around $18, which is at the moment, $18. You said it wouldn't. I wouldn't consider it bullish until it confirmed above the 21 EMA, which is at the moment around $24. I think. I have a feeling a lot of newer people would consider an almost 30% increase to be bullish, not understanding that is ranging, and if it drops from there, it is just another lower high, still bearish. Yes, so that is something that we're going to be covering. I'm going to be working on that instructional video next week. I do believe I have a trend video already posted on the YouTube channel. However, I basically identified what a macro trend looks like, right? So I will be working on the difference between a short-term time frame trend, medium-term time frame trend, and a long-term time frame trend coming into next week. I will post that. I'm hoping, I always give myself extended periods of time for these instructional videos, and I end up getting them finished quicker than I usually think, but I'm still gonna deadline Friday. I'm going to try to get that instructional video done before Friday, but I will most certainly be working on it throughout the week next week and try to get you guys that trend analysis instructional video coming in on the channel next week. So again, I am going to cover all the points that my Facebook moderator highlighted because I understand from a new trader's perspective, some of this shit can be confusing. Some of this shit can be absolutely mind-boggling to say the least, to say the very least. So hopefully we can clear some of that stuff up for you guys coming into next week. We'll get a juicy, well-informed instructional video out there for you guys, and we'll see what happens with it. We'll see if people can kind of grasp the difference between a short-term time frame trend and a long-term. And that's kind of the argument that I've had. Not the argument, the debate, right? I like to debate. That's been the debate with a lot of people. I actually made someone leave the community because he, the difference between short-term bullish, you guys, is that it is only short-term, right? It does not make the asset necessarily bullish. If we're seeing a little bit of a bounce, bouncy price action during a bear market or a movement to the upside during a bear market, I've covered it plenty of times on the stream and in my instructional videos. You guys know what to look for as far as the daily time frame is concerned, and what it means when an asset flips from bearish to bullish and when an asset flips from bullish to bearish. So at the time I thought it was hilarious. The guy quit. The guy was arguing with me tenfold. Well, I didn't, disapprove of his, analysis. I did disapprove of the fact that he was considering something that was bearish bullish when it was not bullish. So I think this will definitely be a very, very, very juicy topic to cover and create a, an instructional video on. So prepare for that next week. Number two, we are live on TikTok. I did forget for the past couple of days, you guys. I do apologize, but I did not forget today. Lots of juicy price action that I wanted the TikTok community to know about, specifically with Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. Anytime we see the market flip from bullish to bearish, it's typically the cryptocurrency market that goes first. That's kind of the first piece of evidence that tells us, hey, the market is likely to be, to the downside for quite some time. And number three, I waited all week. Nobody gave me a suggestion for a strategy to add to the live streams here. So during my process of creating that instructional video next week, I will be picking a strategy of my own. Nobody suggested a strategy that they wanted to see in the live streams. I gave everybody a week. Nobody bit that hook. That means, like I said before, it's going to be up to me. I'm going to choose a strategy that I'm going to add to my analysis, again, because you pick one strategy at a time, you master it, you move on. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to stop trading the 21. Absolutely, I will not stop trading the 21 exponential moving average strategy. That is my main primary source of profit from my trading career at the current moment in time. But I think at this current moment in time, I'm thinking about picking up, a consolidation strategy, a short-term time frame consolidation strategy. I want to start making some of that money during the periods of market movements that are considered boring to a lot of traders. I want to start playing those consolidations. I know I've said it in the past. I hate consolidation ranges, but at the end of the day, I got to learn it, right? I got to learn how to trade them. I got to master how to trade it and basically make money. That's the goal at the end of the day, is to profit from the market. So without further ado, we have plenty to talk about. I wonder if we have any requests today. We don't, so it's very likely that today's streams will be short. It looks like I have 2 viewers right now. If you guys have any requests for any asset, cryptocurrency, stock market, penny stocks, anything you want me to analyze tonight during the live stream, go ahead and throw it in the comment section. Whenever you want. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with this disgusting fucking price action. NASDAQ. Change of behavior. Okay, so I know I talk to you guys about confirmation all the time. This is the only thing I don't need confirmation to confirm. Change of behavior is the only thing I do not need to see confirmation to confirm, right? All I need to see is new macro lows being confirmed on the daily time frame for the specific strategy that I trade, and look at what we got here for NASDAQ. Right off the bat, heinous decline. Downtrend continuation is likely the outcome of this as a result. Now, I'm not saying that we couldn't see a bounce, a relief rally all the way back up to the first horizontal resistance at 14,930, maybe even further up towards the 21 exponential moving average here. But this is a new lower low in the macro structure here. This is a confirmed change of behavior on the daily time frame. Not only the daily time frame, ladies and gentlemen, but the weekly time frame as well. Change of behavior has been confirmed. I am now full-blown bearish on pretty much every asset that is tied to NASDAQ, right? Seeing continuation below the 21 exponential on the weekly time frame here. 21 exponential gains a very negative slope here, and something that I identified on the RSI that was very interesting is this. Back below the 50 read on the weekly time frame, after basically rejecting multiple times the negatively sloped exponential here, showing a downside pressure of force from the bearish perspective on NASDAQ here. Not looking too good. Something that really caught my eye here is this diagonal trend line of peace and prosperity has been broken on on the weekly time frame for NASDAQ as well. Again, higher time frames take precedence over lower time frames. So when I see NASDAQ on the weekly time frame, flashing a lot of bearish signals here, I almost have no choice, especially after a confirmed change of behavior, to start thinking, yeah, maybe we could see a relief rally. That would not be out of the question, but I am on lower high alert, and I'm going to be looking for this downtrend to continue as a downtrend for an extended period of time here, ladies and gentlemen. So what do we see on the daily here? We can talk about technicals. Now we do see stochastics on the daily time frame has dived deeper into the bearish critical zone here, which tells me, hey, if we are to get a relief rally, it's likely to happen sooner rather than later, right? Just because of the extensive continuation to the downside that we've seen from NASDAQ here, confirming a change of behavior, a relief rally would not be out of the question. Again, we could see price action back up to 14,935, or price action back to the 21 or to corresponding resistance at 15,007. That would not be out of the question. And again, yes, it's absolutely tradable, but am I bullish if we see that kind of price action? Fuck no. Hell no. Absolutely not. New macro lows. Again, we've been paying attention to these this macro low on NASDAQ specifically for quite some time. Actually, we've been focused on it since it confirmed above the 21 here on the 14th of October, 2021. And we've been basically saying, hey, this could be that structural low that leads to new all-time highs. You guys remember in the previous streams that we were talking about this here, and boom, look what happened. Nice big boom to new all-time highs, a few times hitting new all-time highs, and then finally breaking down, confirming a change of behavior. Now, what does this mean for me? To the downside, potentially, again, if we don't see a relief rally, I will be looking for this region here to confirm as new tentative resistance at 14,500 bucks here. If we do flip this coming into Monday and confirm it as new tentative resistance, I'm going to be looking for continuation to the next valid level to the downside, which is around $14,000 even. And then we're going to have to start identifying even more. Again, we do have the overall identified target to the downside as a result of confirming a change of behavior here on the daily time frame, but we still want to consider the intermittent levels that are within the structure of NASDAQ as possible targets to the downside, right? You know, if you're trading a short to the downside and you're trading the change of behavior, you have to realize, you know, this isn't your only target. 13,000 is not your only target. You got to expect bounces somewhere. And if we do see continuation to $14,000 even, this is where I would look for a little bit of a bounce. We do have some price action history within this targeted area here. And then we have another level to the downside if it decides to continue as well towards $13,703. Now at this point, there is not much that will convince me, of bullish, movements to the upside, bullish momentum. There's not a lot at this current moment in time that convinces me that the bulls have any fucking hope whatsoever. But if we are to consider the possibilities here, again, once a macro low has been taken out, when in doubt, pull out, look for the next one here. And the next macro low that is in consideration is the first target to the downside. Well, the overall target to the downside. And yes, realistically, this could prove to be a inconsequential low, although I don't believe that. Again, anything can happen in the market. This is a stock market. It's going to do what it's going to do at the end of the day. So we got to remember, again, to plan for multiple different types of scenarios here. So realistically, yes, it could come down, hit one of these levels to the downside, and then, prove to, formulate a structural higher low in confluence with that low here, and formulate some kind of bullish uptrend continuation off of that. Am I convinced of that? No. My bias is definitely full-blown bearish, ladies and gentlemen, at this current moment in time. The only thing that would convince me otherwise at the current right now immediately would be like right now seeing closures back about 15,700 bucks in confluence with a secondary opening closure below the 21 exponential, and then follow through continuation, the 21 forcing itself to a positive slope, RSI coming out of the bearish control zone back above the 50 read, and stochastics doing the same, coming out of the bearish critical zone and crossing the 50 read as well. We have no reason, in my opinion, again, I'm not a financial advisor, this is not financial advice, but in my opinion, there's no reason to be looking for a bullish perspective right now. While it is a smart idea to plan for it, which again I always recommend to plan for everything and expect nothing, if I was forced to provide my general bias of the market right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Again, if you're a long-term investor, you got a 401k, you got an IRA, you're holding assets long term, very likely you guys see some red here in the coming months. I'm talking months, not a couple days. I'm not talking a couple of weeks. I'm talking this could potentially lead to a long-term downtrend here for NASDAQ and a lot of other assets that we're going to be looking at here today. So that's kind of my general disposition on NASDAQ. We're going to take a look at SPY futures, which is still the one that's still intact as far as the macro structure is concerned. But if NASDAQ continues through with a macro downtrend, ladies and gentlemen, I have no reason not to believe SPY futures won't do the same. Give me 1 second. I need a sip. So what is SPY futures telling us? Kind of the same thing. Yes, we don't have a change of behavior, right? We don't have a change of behavior yet. We're still looking at this low right here. Boom. right around 40. We'll call it 43. Ooh, I got 2 requests. Sweet. But the macro low for SPY futures is right here at 4,300 bucks. I know it says 42.95. We're gonna round it for conservative sake here. But until we see closures below $4,300 here, I'm again, per my trading rules, per my technical rules, I still have no choice but to consider this macro bullish until proven otherwise. Now, is my bias that that's likely to happen? No, not at all. We're seeing this a similar type of formation here on SPY futures here. Again, all-time high getting rejected, closures below the 21, confirming a lower high here, and then seeing follow through and continuation. Currently, we have seen a break of current support, barely, but close enough is close enough here for this price action. And if we do confirm this region here at 43.85 as new tentative resistance, I will be looking for continuation and tests of that macro change of behavior point right around 4,300 bucks. The only thing that would convince me otherwise for SPY futures would be a reversal here, like now. Like it needs to stop, reverse, and confirm a low here. Then and only then will I be looking for a potential macro high or low structure within this region here. But again, that's not my bias, right? While I always tell you guys, my opinion is invalid. And again, I am providing a little bit of my own opinion, but at the end of the day, the technicals is what really matters. And from a technical standpoint here, I have no reason to be bullish on this right now. RSI breaking through the top side of the bearish control zone. And this is something that I wanted to mention here. This is the first time SPY futures has entered the bearish control zone since 2020. So it's been nearly 2 years since RSI has entered the bearish control zone here. And I do believe this entry was from that coronavirus crash. If I do believe, let's look at it. Yeah, coronavirus crash, coronavirus dump times here. And then as soon as we saw entry into the bearish control zone, boom, massive bullish explosion here. This is a little different in my opinion. I think this one's a little different in my opinion here. Again, it's been 2 years since we've seen entry into that region, which does not spell, the picture of health and fitness for this asset from a bullish perspective. Same thing with stochastics, diving deeper into the bearish critical zone, putting in new lows, taking out previous lows from 2020 as well. Not looking too healthy. So realistically, I am going to be looking for price action to move closer and closer to that $4,300 target. Now, if we do break below that, the next target below that I'm going to be looking for is right around 4,200 bucks. If that's lined up correctly. Yeah, right around 4,200 bucks would be the overall target to the downside if we confirm a change of behavior. At which point I would look for a bounce at 4,200 bucks, back up maybe to test like $4,300 again. And realistically, it could go all the way back up to this region here at 45.70. But if we confirm a lower high, that's just going to confirm more and more so that we are in a bear market for SPY futures. So as far as the upside possibilities, yeah, we could see a bounce here coming into next week, test the next resistance, but realistically, we're putting a lot of pressure to the downside. I don't see an end to this until proven otherwise. I am going to be looking for $4,300. What is the US dollar index doing here? Probably absolutely nothing. Where is it? The XY. Boom. US dollar index still not confirming above or below the 21, still consolidating around that 21 exponential here. But nonetheless, I'm still looking at this to potentially serve as a structural high or low. Now, something to consider for the structure is, one, yes, we are technically on new lows from this consolidation phase here, which we have confirmed plenty of lows within that region here, and a lower low at the same time, right? So we do have a lower low followed by a second lower low. Realistically, we could continue rejecting resistance and see another lower high confirm, which would confirm a downtrend continuation. If that condition is met, I will be looking for continuation back down to 94.62. 63, give or take a few cents, and maybe that would give you your relief rally in the stock market and the cryptocurrency market. But if we break above resistance here at 95.82, this likely serves as a macro structural high or low, and realistically, I will be looking ultimately for the upside target that we've been talking about for quite some time, right around 97 bucks. Obviously, I would play it level by level by looking for this region here, 96.32. That's the absolution zone. That is the zone that I need to see see taken out before I'm convinced at all whatsoever that we aren't going to formulate a downtrend here for the US dollar index, at which point, if we do break above 96.30, that's when I'm going to be targeting $97 here. And this region here will likely serve as the structural higher low, and it will be confirmed. But until that point here, we are, kind of moving sideways, playing around with that 21 exponential, and realistically anything can happen in that region. We do see stochastics here breaching through the 50 read. That is a signal, that is a warning shot, but we don't have that confirmation candle closure above the 21 exponential. Linda dropping a comment saying, I hope I didn't miss AMC and Hall of Fame. Absolutely, you did not. You're actually going to be catching those in the next couple of minutes here. Those are going to be my next two analysis. So you're here just in time. But for the US dollar index, RSI continuing to reject the 50 read here. Again, we do have conflicting indications. What really matters at the end of the day is not momentum oscillators, in my opinion. What really matters is whether or not we, breach this horizontal resistance, or we continue to use it as resistance and confirm a lower high. That's kind of going to tell me the directional movement of the trend. And again, we already have the conditions. If we do reject this region here, confirm a top, I will be looking for continuation to the current lows, right around $94.65. But if we break above 95.82, I'll look for that change of behavior point at 96.30. That's going to do it for Dixie, the US dollar index. I heard AMC. Excuse me. Now, maybe I won't do it. Maybe my cousin's here. Maybe I won't go through the huge, disgusting rant. All I will say is that I'm hearing a lot of this, wishing in one hand, right? I'm hearing a lot of unrealistic expectations for an asset that has no fucking business being at the price that it's at the current moment in time. Again, this is just my opinion, but in my opinion, I believe this asset had no business. It has no business being even at $17, right? And also, the short squeeze already happened. An asset that has no business going up 3,300%, went up 3,300% from low to all-time high. You're looking for a squeeze that's done. Done been fucking 6 months since we've seen the squeeze, and we've been in a continuation downtrend ever since here. So we're going to do the analysis right now, and what do we see? Realistically, I am going to be looking for more continuation towards that $14.50 region here. That target has not yet been met. We do see RSI diving to new lows in the bearish critical zone, and stochastics at the same time diving to new lows in the bearish critical zone. There is nothing, and I'm telling you guys, there's nothing bullish about this asset right now. I will be looking for $14.50 until proven otherwise, and the only proof otherwise at the current moment in time would be a secondary open and closure above $26.60 in confluence with that secondary closure back above the 21 exponential. Now, if we want to talk about change of behaviors here, I'm going to be looking for this red line of horizontal resistance at $30.65. At that point, we'll have new highs on the structure here, right? I'm looking at the structure, not these inconsequential tops that we've seen after this. I'm looking at the main structural high here at $30.83. Until price action goes back above that region here, I have no reason to be, macro bullish. Oh, I got a comment. He said, my cousin says, I honestly don't have an opinion on anything because I don't know anything about this stuff. Yeah, brother, I've been doing this for 4 years. For a couple of years when I was learning this, I didn't know shit either. Nobody comes into this, into this niche knowing anything. But I dedicated 4 years of my life, and that's ongoing. That is still ongoing. I'm still dedicating my life to technical analysis, to the stock market, to profiting from the stock market, because at the end of the day, man, this is what's going to retire me young. This right here is what's going to retire me young, and that's the ultimate goal. As much as I like to debate and conflict other people's opinions and conflict other people's technical analysis, at the end of the day, there's only one goal for this, and that goal is to retire and take care of my wife, take care of our future child, which we are currently trying for one. And fund everything we want to do, traveling, building a house, buying land. That's what this is about at the end of the day. Brass tacks from the bottom to the top. That's what this is about. Now, I created the YouTube channel and I created the Blackfire Technical Analysis Facebook community and my TikTok channel for the purpose of teaching teaching other people how to read a chart, teaching people technical analysis. Again, not providing financial advice, but just kind of educating people and trying to convince people to be more realistic about what the market really is. Because I see so many people, trading and investing that do no research. They have no idea what they're doing, and they're putting 30, 40, 50, $100,000 into a market, and then all of a sudden, I saw a post the other day. I lost 15K with AMC. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Well, you're not reading the fucking charts. That's what you're doing wrong. Like, if you're gonna throw your money into something, don't you want research? Don't you want evidence? Don't you want the highest reward and the lowest risk possible? That's what technical analysis is about. That's what this is about, ladies and gentlemen. So, while I do come off as an asshole to those that don't know a fucking thing about the market, there is a positive purpose for that. I want people to kind of wake up and realize the stock market isn't something you can just willy-nilly throw your money into and then wake up tomorrow and be fucking rich. That is not the case. That is not what this is about. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but your chances of throwing, your money into a random asset and getting rich, man, I already told you guys, you have a higher chance of walking out into your street, getting struck by lightning, and getting bitten by a shark at the same time than you do throwing your money into a random asset and getting rich overnight or over the next couple of days. And you're not getting bit by a shark on dry land, ladies and gentlemen. So again, put your shit in one hand and put your wishes in the other hand and squeeze and tell me which one feels more realistic. That's what we're trying to accomplish here, ladies and gentlemen. Linda, dropping comments. Your analysis has been very right. Again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about having a plan for both sides, and that's why I always come on my streams, ladies and gentlemen, and tell you the perspectives of what can and what can happen. Again, just because I'm ultimately bearish and I don't believe AMC is going to be $1,000, I could be proven wrong. But that's why you have a plan for both sides. You have a plan for everything. If you fail to plan, your plan is to fail. If you fail to plan, your plan is to just piss your money away. At the end of the day, I'm going to be a little harsh on people because at the end of the day, you have to study this stuff. I've been studying charts at a minimum 8 hours a day for the last 4 years. So, to my cousin, it does sound like a different language. It's a different language because I've learned this language. I've studied this language for 4 years and counting, and I refuse to quit until I die. I think this is something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life until death does me part, right? So, Linda says, you are very hardworking. I respect your analysis. Yo, that's the kind of stuff. Thank you. I'm doing this on top of a day job. I'm doing this on top of all the responsibilities that I do have. Take care of a household, be with my wife, spend time with my wife, manage finances, do the YouTube channel, do the Facebook, do the TikTok, instructional video. There is so much that goes into this, ladies and gentlemen. But if it's just trading, right? I could easily take away the YouTube channel, the Facebook community, the TikTok, and all that extra work that I do to provide the analysis, and I would still be doing the same thing. At the end of the day, I would still be doing the same thing. I would still be looking at charts, looking for ways to profit from the market. That's brass tacks, but I think we're getting a little carried away here. I did want to try to keep this one a little bit short, so we'll go ahead and continue. I think that's going to do it for AMC. Again, targets to the downside, $14.50 until proven otherwise, and the only thing that would convince me of any kind of relief rally would be above $24, and the only thing that would convince me of bullish momentum, macro bullish momentum, would be higher highs at the current moment in time. And until then, target is $14.50. Hall of Fame Village here. This one's absolutely disgusting, and to be quite honest with you, are we on all-time lows? This one's on all-time lows. This one, it closed on all-time lows today, ladies and gentlemen. This one closed on all-time lows. So as far as the downside, and here's what I want to show you guys. I can't remember what asset that I was doing where I looked for Fibonacci retracement levels from an all-time low to the previous high. Because it took me to a negative price, right? And that's kind of how I find targets to the downside here. Looking for macro lows, which is, I almost pointed to it with my finger like a dummy. This is the macro low right here. Back in December 2020. just before 2021 took off. This is kind of like that swing low point that I'm kind of looking at. You could realistically take it all the way down to this region here at a $1.14, which we'll do. But either one that I pick, I don't get an accurate reading. This is what's crazy. Here's your Fibonacci extension. Boom. Swing high, swing low. New all-time lows. We're below the 1 read on the Fibonacci, and let's look for the 1 spot 272 real quick. 3 cents, 2 cents, 1 cent, 0 cents, 0 cents, 0 cents, 0 cents. Like, I'm scrolling down on this chart and cannot find. There it is. There's the 1 spot 272 Fibonacci retracement. And this is, I might have to adjust my Fibonacci retracements, right? Because fuck it, negative 40 cents can't be the target. It can't be. It can't. It's unfeasible. It's unrealistic here. So I don't have a target. I don't have a target for the downside. I don't have a target for the downside. All I can say is it's very likely that we see continuation to where, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, I don't know. I'm gonna have to play with my fibs and see if there's a Fibonacci retracement level that I'm missing, but I'm almost certain that I don't have any Fibonacci retracement levels that I'm missing, which tells me, Hall of Fame's not going to negative 40, right? But it definitely suggests continuation to the downside. Stochastics, ultimate lows in the bearish critical zone. We've never seen stochastics this low in the history of this asset. Stochastics are at an all-time low. RSI, not so much at an all-time low, but back into the bearish control zone here, diving deeper to new lows. Yes, new lows have been confirmed. I can talk about upside possibilities. If we do bounce off $1.14 where we're at right now, I would be looking for a continuation towards like a $1.22, maybe even a pop all the way back up to $1.45. And if that condition is met, we likely have ourselves that stop and reversal point. I'm not saying that it would flip to a bullish perspective. All I'm saying is that it's tradable. If we do confirm a low, it is tradable up to the next valid target here, which is at about $1.45. Am I convinced of any bullish momentum? Again, this is a bear market. This market's been bearish since the all-time high. There hasn't been anything to prove it otherwise. There was nothing convincing me otherwise. This is the picture of destruction, and I do believe this one hits the stock market abyss. But I literally can't give you guys targets to the downside. That's the crazy thing, is that when I put up my fibs, it gives me an unrealistic price target. Now, if it hits negative 40, which there have been assets that hit negative value before, I'll shit a brick. I will. There will a whole entire brick will drop right into my pants. Like, that'll blow my mind. So as far as price action for this one, though, I can give you the upsides, but realistically, I'm still looking for more down. I pulled up those fibs, and the 1 spot 272 is, I have to crunch this chart, crunch it, and you can see all the way down here. It says negative, negative 39 cents, negative 40 cents. That is unrealistic. So I will play with my fibs next week, see if I can identify real Fibonacci ratios that tie into the market, and see if I can find a lesser one that could potentially serve as a target. But until then, man, I don't know where this one goes from here. If it continues to go down, I don't know how far it goes. So that's kind of going to do it for the Hall of Fame. I think I want to look at Bitcoin. I do have one more request. We're going to check out Bitcoin right now. Change of behavior confirmed. I am bearish on Bitcoin, and we are seeing continuation at the current moment in time here. Again, this was the region at 40,800 that we were paying attention to. This was the last structural higher low, the macro change of behavior point that we have all been focused on for cryptocurrency for quite some time. And look at this, price action today. Boom, 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 boom. Confirming that region as new tentative resistance. Not only that, but seeing massive continuation. I do believe this candle was about 11% to the downside. Let's look. 10.5%, close enough. And now we're seeing continuation through the next level of support at the current moment in time. This is not looking good. This does not spell health and fitness. realistically, I am going to be looking for price action to move all the way down to 33,350 as the next tentative target to the downside. I am not bullish. I am not bullish. I am not bullish on cryptocurrencies. I am absolutely looking for an extended bear market to come to fruition here. Now, yes, it wouldn't be out of the question to see a bounce off of the support here and see price action move all the way back up, start testing a resistance at 38,000 bucks, maybe even all the way back up to 40,800. But until I see a change of behavior, which is now this point here at $44,000, pressures to the downside. And we could see it from stochastics and RSI. RSI confirming new lows. Confirming new lows here and diving deeper into the bearish control zone and stochastics here. Again, after that rejection of the top side of the bearish control zone, that was your tell. That was kind of your tell. Hey, this is not looking good. This one is likely to continue to the downside here. And look at that. Price action continues to be bearish. Change of behavior has been confirmed. Resistance at that change of behavior point has been confirmed. There is no convincing. There is no convincing me that we haven't confirmed a change of behavior, in my opinion. And again, people might disagree, but in my opinion, we are now officially in a cryptocurrency bear market, and it is very likely that we see the stock market follow suit here. So, to the down, very easy analysis, in my opinion. Downside continuation until proven otherwise. The only proof otherwise would be a stop and a reversal anywhere. I need to see price action stop and reverse back to the upside before I can give you sound, solid dispositions for targets to the upside. I did outline a couple of targets to the upside, but again, my bias is more bearish than not. So until proven otherwise, I am looking for negative momentum. Roblox, RBLX, I think that's Roblox, RBLX. Roblox Corporation, fucking bad. Change of behavior confirmed. This one's not looking good either. We're actually going to redo this chart here. There's your change of behavior point. Boom. 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 Yeah, I mean, man, realistically, if we confirm the level that we're at is new tentative resistance, we could be looking at new macro lower lows. This is bearish. Absolutely, I am bearish on this one here. Just saw a fresh break below $70.30 here. Looking to potentially see it confirm as new tentative resistance coming Monday. If that condition is met, I will look for continuation all the way back down to $64 here. And if we break that, this is something I don't even know if I can put fibs on. Swing high, swing low. Okay, we can try it here. Swing low, swing high. All right, we actually have a target for this one. If we do see closures below $64.75 here, new all-time lows likely to confirm with potential targets all the way down to $50.85 here. We do see RSI into the bearish control zone for the first time in this asset's history. Doesn't spell peace and prosperity. Stochastics diving to all-time stochastic lows. Roblox looks bad. The only thing that would convince me otherwise, almost nothing, man. I mean, almost nothing is going to convince me that this one flips back to bullish, but at the current moment here, new highs above the 21 exponential. If price action can recover back above $90.22 and confirm new highs and confirm a secondary candle closure above the 21 exponential, then we can talk about the possibilities of seeing price action move to 105 spot 17. Maybe from a short-term time frame perspective, man, even the short-term time frames on this one look like shit. Doesn't even look like a bounce is even coming close to ready. It just looks like coiling action in the bearish control zone, and you guys know how I feel about coiling action in any kind of zone. If you see coiling action in the bullish control zone, you know the bulls have ultimate control. We see coiling in the bearish critical zone. The bears have absolute control of this asset. So what is the 1 hour telling me? The 1 hour, no, man, the 1 hour is not even telling me that we could potentially see a bounce. I'm looking for continuation to $64, and we'll come back to Roblox and finalize dispositions for that at a later date. But man, this one doesn't look good either. Again, it does look like the market's starting to flip, guys, which to me is exciting. because again, from an investment standpoint and a trading standpoint, I get to short, I get to ride this market to the downside, I get to take profits, and I get to buy assets at their Fibonacci lows and potentially their macro cycle lows before the next bull market cycle initiates. And when that happens, I'm gonna have a bunch of money riding the lows and a bunch of different assets, and I'm gonna let that shit hit the moon. So for some, this isn't exciting. For others like me, this is absolutely exciting. So pay attention to your charts, ladies and gentlemen. Keep a close eye on everything that you're watching. More specifically, in my opinion, Bitcoin is very important. NASDAQ is important. SPY futures is important. The US dollar index is important because that's the kind of the bulky bulk stuff that I read that kind of dictates to me where the market is going. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Get the fuck out of my channel, you spam. Okay, and I think that's gonna do it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for watching the YouTube channel tonight. I will be back same time Monday night. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, again, thanks for being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. And until next time, stay safe.